So right now we have a combination of hay nets, and there's a hay net over there. And then on these feeders, we have metal grates that have 4 by 4 inch openings. So I've been filming her for 4 minutes now, and what I've noticed is that she tends to grab and then pull the hay away from her body like that. So that means that if her teeth were anywhere near a bar, those lower teeth would be getting the wear as she pulled away. So she would scrape the bar against her lower teeth. And I'm wondering if the reason we haven't seen or heard any teeth scraping is because she's already damaged the two that would be scraping enough that they're not grating anymore. They're not catching on the bars because she's worn them away. And then the remaining teeth aren't involved. But you see, 4 inches is still large enough for them to get a good part of their nose in there, which is why I was really surprised that 2-year-old Posa is the one that has the big teeth damage, because she can pretty much, until recently, fit her whole muzzle in here. So we started off our experimentation with different slow feeders about 6 years ago, and we had a combination of hay nets and these metal grates, which are 2 by 2 inches. This worked great for 2 years until one of the horses showed me a chipped tooth. So then we switched to these 2 by 4 inch metal grates. And as you can see in this photo, we're getting quite a bit of hay breakage, and that makes it frustrating for the horses and makes it difficult to get the hay out. Whenever you have a horse working hard to extract the hay, you're getting either the teeth or the gums being pressed against the grate or the hay net, and that's what causes the tooth and gum damage. So then we switched to the 4 by 4 inch metal grate across the slow feeder, and that worked really well for a good 4 years. There was no damage to anyone's teeth, and then all of a sudden we had 2 horses with significant damage to, for Posa, to 2 of her bottom teeth, and for Odalina to wear on the enamel in her top teeth. So that has now prompted a massive experimentation to kind of think right outside the box and go, what other slow feeder things could we come up with? Because I'll tell you, it's not just about slowing the horses down. It's not just about minimizing hay wastage. The horses actually prefer to work a little for their hay. I have tested this over and over again and had any kind of slow feeder and right next to it, loose hay in a box. They leave the loose hay alone and they want to work at the slow feeder. So if you think of how they graze, their muzzles and tongue and teeth are really busy. So they kind of want to simulate that. That's more interesting for them when they eat. So that's the other thing we're trying to achieve. We're trying to achieve our human goals of, not having any hay wastage, but we're also trying to satisfy the horses' natural grazing behavior. We want them in a head down position, as close to the ground as we can get them. We want to minimize their frustration. We certainly don't want them having to press their teeth and their gums into the slow feeder to extract the hay. So we're trying to balance for all these things, and this is what we're testing. This is a 1-inch opening hay net, and what I've discovered over 7 years of slow feeding up to 13 different horses is that different horses' teeth and gums do better with different slow feeding solutions. So you'll see there's a lot of debate about, oh, you should only use hay nets. No, you shouldn't use hay nets. They damage the gums. You should use nylon webbing, or you should use a large opening metal grate, because that's what works best for. And what I've discovered, and what I'm going to show you, is I've done a number of experiments to see what slow feeding solution works best to prevent any tooth or gum issues from happening in all of the horses. This one is actually a failed experiment. So these are wooden, untreated wooden things set 5 inches apart. The reason this fails is because these are getting really loose already. And the bigger reason, this is too big of a space and we get a lot of wastage from this feeder. So just showing you, I've really been experimenting. That doesn't work. On this one, let me show you. So again, it has a clip that clips into a hook to keep the lid closed. Otherwise, if you just have this open, your horse is going to pick this up and toss it. But this is a 2-inch net. They don't like the 2-inch. It's so weird. They like the 1-inch and they like the 2.75 inch, but they don't like the 2-inch. And look what they've done. Oh. They've created their own 4x4 hole. Oh, no. And then that works for them. And again, this is just a length of hay net, and I tied it on using the hay bale twine. It's holding. I think I'd use a better rope if I did it again, because this tends to get really frayed, but it doesn't really matter. Oops, sorry, darling. Look your head, love. And the next one is another 4x4. Again, a clipped lid. This has the 2.75 inch holes, and this works really well. For this herd, this is a good size of hole. It's small enough to be interesting, but it's not too big enough that they're throwing hay out. And it's big enough that it's not damaging their gums. So that's a really good one. Here we have another 2 foot wide feeder. This has the 4x4 metal grate. I will eventually, I'm in the process of getting rid of these because I've been doing all my testing to see what they like. But I'll tell you, I've got 3 different size hay nets. I've got another one that I'm going to show you. So there's 4 different feeding options. Some of them prefer the 4x4 metal grate. They like it better, so it obviously feels good to their mouth. So I'm kind of divided whether to switch everyone or to leave maybe 1 metal grate in place. I'll see. Let's keep feeling into it and keep checking your teeth. I'll take Mama. Zeta, can we show everybody what we got here and disturb your meditation? This is a wooden frame that I strung Cecil rope. So this is 100% natural rope. And I made the openings, they're 5x5. So the wooden one that was a fail was slats of 5 inches. This is a cross hatch of 5 inches. This one actually works fine. So see, after you fill it with these kind of grate feeders, it's so easy. Fill it, pop the lid on. Coming down, baby. Coming down. Down, sweetheart. She's so deep and meditative. Come on, good girl. And then clip it and you're done. So again, we're back to getting out of your human thinking of what looks good or feels good to you. It's not about you. It's about your herd. It's about your particular horses and what they need for their visceral body, their nervous system to be at peace. I don't pay on the back end. I don't pay for the problems my environment has given them. I pay on the front end to give them the environment they need to be healthy, to have a dropped nervous system, to have a viscera that's not in a visceral physical body that's not in scarcity, that's not in anxiety, that's not in worry, right? But that's in freedom and empowerment and peace. And then the horse can keep itself healthy.